See, leverage means an advantage. Operating leverage would mean operating advantage. Financial leverage would mean financial advantage. So what is that we call as operating advantage? See, in marginal costing, we used to differentiate things between variable cost and fixed cost. Say, any amount of new orders that we procure, where we will be having only variable cost to be incurred. Fixed cost will not be incurred at all. So therefore, increase in profit is the difference between the selling price and the variable cost. Fixed cost will not increase at all because it is fixed. So therefore, having that fixed cost is an advantage, is what people just say, and therefore it is operating leverage. And therefore, in operating leverage formula also, we say contribution divided by PBIT. If fixed cost were to be 0, then contribution equal to profit before interest and taxation. So when contribution and profit before interest and taxation were to be same, the number would be what is the most or the greatest advantage that you would be getting. But nowhere in this world you have no fixed cost and all that. Fixed cost you have. So when you have as low as fixed cost, you will find yearly breaking point and greater scope for margin of safety. So leverage means advantage. Oh, you only told that answer. Leverage equal to advantage. Okay. So we call it out as operating leverage or degree of operating leverage. Even if it means repetition, if you just feel happy for repetition, go to degree of financial leverage. Combined leverage or total leverage. Degree of total leverage. Generally, the formula in this case being contribution divided by PBIT, PBIT divided by PBT, contribution divided by PBT. As how? See, what do you mean by finance charge? Is it only the interest? Is it only the interest? If you just ask what is the finance charge, is it only the interest charge? Answer is big no. Now, even preference dividend is also an item of fixed finance charge. It's also an item of fixed finance charge. But preference dividend is deducted from profit or taxation. Then we cannot rate both debenture interest and preference dividend at the same platform, because interest is deducted from profit before interest and taxation. Debenture interest is deducted from VAT in order to provide same status. In order to provide same status, profit, there is preference dividend, shall be divided by post tax rate. That means fixed finance charge is equal to debenture interest plus preference dividend divided by postal tax rate. I will demonstrate to you. Just don't worry about that. Okay. All of you. Now, to drive home the point, I will take up an example. Sales. On the other day, we have just done something like that. What is the number? I will put it over as 10,000 today. Variable cost 4,000. Contribution. Just watch out, we are trying to explain the point as to how preference dividend should also be given importance. Fixed cost 3,000. Profit before interest and taxation. Then interest. Interest is, let's assume 1,200. Profit before taxation. Taxation. Let's assume that it is 33 and 1/3%. Which is nothing but 33 and 1/3%. Profit after taxation. Let us take up preference dividend. Some 400 rupees. Equity earnings. Now tell me what is operating leverage. Operating leverage is equal to contribution divided by PBIT. Two times. Financial leverage is equal to how much is that? 1.67 times. But it is not appropriate, no? Because we have considered only debenture interest. We need to consider preference dividend also. Then what is the way out? This is not appropriate. So now I will take up this first one. I will take up this as restated. Correct? What is it I am doing? Control R. So the right hand side values are simply copied pasted. And interest. Interest is not 1,200. I told you a formula. What was the formula we have told you? 1,200 plus preference dividend divided by 66.1,200. So now profit before interest and taxation should be what? PBIT divided by 2.5 times. But the original formula states as profit before interest and taxation divided by profit before taxation. So actually this is the way you have to restate. How much is that you end up with? 600. I'm sorry, not. Oh yeah, 33 and 1/3%. How much is that? Preference dividend already deducted. So naturally same equity earnings you are getting. See why this 0? Already considered in interest. So therefore, the number that you have got to use for financial leverage is not simply PBIT divided by PBT. This is a point I wanted to tell you. So now what is that we will be doing? It is 3000 divided by 1200. So if you stated in a particular way, this number 1800 should be taken up as 1200 plus 400 divided by 66.67%. Is that clear? Come on. If it is stated, you restate and then work out the operating and financial leverage. What is the combined leverage then? Combined leverage is contribution divided by PBT. Have you understood as what is this restatement and all that? So therefore, the small change I am making in the formula. What is that? Financial leverage or finance leverage is equal to profit before interest and taxation divided by profit before taxation or profit before interest and taxation minus interest minus preference dividend divided by post-tax rate. Why that preference dividend divided by post-tax rate we are just doing is that, closely follow in the example, if I have to pay preference dividend of 400 rupees on profit after taxation figure, what should have been my earning to pay this 400 rupees on post-tax basis? If I have to pay 400 rupees on after tax basis, how much you should have earned before taxation? Where 33 and 1/3% is a tax rate. If I got to pay 400 rupees on after taxation figure, this being 66.67%, how much I should have earned on before tax basis? How much? So I got to earn 600 rupees. If I earn 600 rupees, I will pay 1/3 for taxation. The remaining 400 is for preference dividend. So if preference dividend were to be issued in the form of debentures, what is the amount of debenture interest we would have paid? 600 rupees we would have paid as debenture interest, because we can deduct it from a figure before computing the taxation, which is not the case for preference dividend. Preference dividend shall only be deducted from profit after taxation figure. So if preference dividend were to be declared in the form of debenture interest, what would have been the number? So now the finance manager, instead of having 400 rupees to be paid, if it were to be paid in the form of debenture interest, how much would have paid? That is what we are just doing up.